Okay, so today is day 3 demo. Okay, so today I would be keeping a light demo. Okay, light in the sense like as compared to Kafka PySpark structure streaming where we wrote a lengthy 80 plus lines of code. Today it would be very like a medium kind of code which we would be writing. Okay, and the people coming from ETL will be happy to see this kind of things. Okay, so today we would be performing ETL. Okay, in the sense like with the help of PySpark, today we will be performing ETL. Okay, so we will try to extract the data, we will try to transform the data, and we will try to load the data. So that's what we would be performing today. Okay, cool. So the scenario is, okay, so you all know these things. The only thing is I'm showing this with in the combination of AWS, a little of AWS and PySpark. Okay, so today's agenda is, so let's say it is a demo 3. Okay, so we'll perform some ETL operations, okay, using PySpark. Okay, so as I've set the agenda, so what we would be doing is, ideally what I can do is I can directly upload my file to S3. Okay, but I just want to spin up the EC2 instance and show you how we can do it a little programmatically. I can do it directly in a graphical mode also. Okay, so as of now, the file is available on my local file system. From there, with the help of EC2 instance, okay, when I'll spin this EC2 instance, I will try to push this at this home location. I will create a bucket, and from here I will create a bucket, and finally I will load the file. Once the file is loaded, with the help of PySpark, I will read that file from AWS S3. Okay, we'll write some code, okay, to achieve some requirement, and finally we will load the data to MySQL database. That's what the stuff is, and let's go step by step. Okay, so the first step is we'll spin up the EC2 instance. Okay, so let's go to the AWS console. Okay, so the first step, we are trying to spin up the EC2 instance. Simple and straight. So don't worry about like what steps I'm following. Just see how it is going. Okay, try to just relate. It's not matter. Okay, so I'm just going with the free tier. Okay, let's take a EC2 instance launch. So we are trying to take a free tier of Amazon. Let's go next. Okay, there are different types of families which are being provided for us use. Okay, so the higher the you take, the higher the bill will be getting. Again, like there are lots of permutation and combinations in that. We will not fall into those things. Immediately we'll go ahead with launching the EC2 instance. I'm just launching one instance in my private VPC. Okay, so no, as of now, no bootstrapping steps which I'm following. Okay, let's make a next step. So as of now, 30 GB of EBS, which is nothing but elastic block storage, is given to us, but I'm just using the 8. And once I delete my EC2 instance, even this root should get deleted. That's what it is saying. As of now, I'm not adding any tags. What I would be doing is I would be accessing this AWS services via putty. Hence, I have added this. Okay, what you can do is my IP address. Either you can put your, what's my IP address, so that is like 103 something. Okay, so it should be, let's 245.89. Either you can give it to all the code, all the ports, or you can say, if you see 103, 122, 245.89, so I can be able to access this instance from my IP only. You can restrict it. Okay, let's go ahead and let's launch this. Okay, now this is asking for a key value pair. Okay, so I already have one key value pair. Okay, so I'm using that just to save time. Okay, let's launch this instance. So this instance is launching. Meanwhile, till the time the instance is launching, what we will try to do is, okay, so let it get launched. We are interested in few things. Okay, so the first step was like spinning up the EC2 instance. Okay, so spinning up the EC2 instance is done. Now what I need to do is the file which is available at my local, so I will be taking a help of WinSCP, and I would be pushing this file to the home location of my EC2 instance. Okay, so it just like addition steps which I am showing you, I could have directly taken to S3 also, but just you get a flavor of doing things differently. Okay, so if you see, this is now up and running. There are so many details which needs to be explained, but again, if I keep explaining this, it will be a lot of time. So I'm just taking this public IP address for now. I'm going to my putty terminal. Okay, here you need to provide the authentication key. As of now, don't worry about this, what I'm trying to do, just see how I'm trying to do. Okay, and the IP address, which is a public IP, I'm trying to take this. The default username is nothing but EC2 user, and I'm able to access, or I'm able to log in. Let's enhance the font size for a better view. Okay, cool. So ls-ltr, I do not see any files over here. The agenda is I need a file that is emp.txt. So I need to take this file. Okay, I need to push this file at this location. So let's do that. So I'll take the help of WinSCP. Okay, and let's go to the new site. That's the domain name, the EC2 user, and let's go to the advanced and provide the authentication key. And this should be able to log in. Okay, let's go. So if you see /home EC2 user, here also if I do present working directory, I'm at the same path /home EC2 user. Looks good, looks clean. Okay, now let's go to the data sets. Let's go a little step back, and the file which I was in need, it's nothing but employee.txt. So I'm just moving it, and if I try to do ls-ltr, I have that file over here. Okay, so that file is already available with us, so we can play with this file. So let me just go. I'm just removing the last line. So cat emp.txt. Okay, so we have this file with a header. Cool. So what we are able to do is, let's see, people are joining, so let them allow. Okay, so what we have done is we have created an EC2 instance, and with the help of WinSCP, we moved the file over here. Now what we will do from EC2 instance, see what I can do is in this AWS console, there are different services available. Okay, so if I go for S3, which is nothing but simple storage service, I can graphically create my bucket also. I can do that also. Okay, but what happens in project, we just for viewing purpose we try to use this, but majorly we play everything in black screen. That's what we do. So there is a command called, so first of all, let's test AWS S3 ls. Okay, so it is telling that unable to locate credentials. Okay, may not be, yes, it's visible. Okay, so I may not be able to look at the chat. So what it is telling is unable to locate credentials. So what we need to do is first we need to configure. Okay, configure the AWS credentials. So it asks you the secret key, it asks you the access key, secret key, and the location, and etc. etc. Okay, so it's few things it is asking. Okay, cool. So what I need to do now is, okay, so the access key and the secret key which I am having, I just need to pass this. And how this is created, how that not is created, don't worry about this. So I'm providing my access key, then it is asking me for the secret key, then it is asking me for the default region. Okay, what AWS says to us is always use the services near to your geographical location. Okay, for me the geographical location is, which is nothing but under Asia Pacific. Okay, I have Mumbai, AP South 1, so I'll be making use of that. Okay, let's use that AP South 1, and the default is JSON format. Done. So if I just execute my AWS S3 IAM list user, I should be able to see a user with the name Saif. Okay, so that's the user created. So, and if I try to do AWS S3 and LS, I should be able to see. Okay, so if you see some buckets are there, if you see Saif, Big Data, ETL, so the same bucket which I can see over here, I'm able to see there also. Okay, now let's create a bucket from this. I can create a bucket from here, or else I can create a bucket from here. Anything is fine, whatever you feel. So AWS S3 service we are using, and the command is make bucket. Okay, so S3 : so let's say this is demo, and let's say demo bucket. So what it is telling is an error. So it's a very good error which is coming. It is telling is bucket already exists. Now when we talk about AWS S3, okay, it's global in nature, which means that the bucket name which we are trying to create, they are global in nature. Means like if someone in the world has an account, if they have created, the same name can't be used again. That's what they are trying to say us. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll use Saif big data ETL demo, something like we'll try to use. Okay, so let's change that. Saif big data demo, we can say like this as well. Even that is fine for us. Okay, so if you see, the bucket has been done, and if you just do a quick refresh, we should be able to see that bucket. Okay, inside this I can upload the files graphically using the GUI based. Okay, and also I can do with in a CLI manner. Okay, so let's say present working directory is this. I have one file. So what I will do is I will execute my, if you know all your Linux commands, it is similar to S3 commands are also similar. So I'm just trying to copy my file at location, which is nothing but home ec2 user, and the file name is nothing but emp.txt. Where I need to copy to a file bucket, that is S3. And what was my bucket name which we just created? So this is the bucket name which we created. Let's copy this and let's paste it over here. Okay, so let's do AWS S3 ls, and we should be able to see. Okay, so the under this bucket the file has been moved. Let's refresh here as well. Okay, so we are able to see this file. So just few basic steps which I wanted to do with AWS, okay, and we are able to perform till here. I could have created a folder, and inside the folder I could have made the files available also, but just okay, we can do those things, but as of now I'm not doing. Okay, so this piece is done, this piece is done, and this piece is done. Now the main thing which we are here. Okay, so we'll write the code. Okay, so let's start building the code like how we started. Okay, so the first step one is we will build a skeleton. Okay, skeleton, skeleton. Okay, so let's do those things. The first step, let's go back to the VM. Okay, and enter the credentials, and this is up and running for me. Okay, so it's a clean screen, and let's start building the code. So from PySpark.sql, okay, I'm trying to import, okay, Spark session. So I'm trying to create a main method, and I'm trying to create a Spark as a variable which will hold my Spark session. Okay, let's do that. Spark session with a builder method. Okay, the application name, like yesterday we gave like reading the data from Kafka topic. So today let's say read AWS S3, okay, and write MySQL, something like this. Okay, then so we'll try to give the master. I'm using my local resources. Let's use the local resources, and finally let's get a create method. Okay, like yesterday we tried to make it in a neat manner, so today also we'll do that way. Okay, cool. Now when we try to read a file, may it be any format, may it be .dat, .txt, .csv, .xml, .avro, .parquet, .snappy. There are various file formats which are available. Okay, so once we go to the data frame way, okay, so the formats are almost similar in the sense like writing the syntax. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, so I'm trying to create a data frame with the help of spark.read.format. Okay, so this is like a generic way which we try to do. Someone is waiting. No. Okay. So this is the generic way which we try to do. Okay, with the help of Spark dot read dot format. Now, as we are trying to access the files from S3, okay, we need to make certain changes, and they are like minimal changes. Okay, not many things, but small changes. Okay, let's understand those. First of all, the file which is available in my bucket, okay, so that is like txt, so it falls under CSV category. So I'll just say the form, whoops. So the format is nothing but a CSV format which I would be dealing with. Okay, spark.read.format. Does it has a header? Okay, so again there is a typo. Okay. So if it has a header, I don't want to read that header as a data. Okay, for that purpose I'm trying to provide a key value pair. So what I'm trying to tell, my header as true. Option, I'll try to write option again, and I'll try to provide a key and a value. So the file which I am trying to read, okay, I want to infer the schema, like based on the data which is available, I need to identify the types of the data, which is nothing but data types. So even I'm telling that true, and there is one key for that, that is nothing but infer schema. Now if you may be having a question, how do I remember? Okay, that is the first thing. Second thing is, if I don't know, where should I get these from? Okay, so all these you will be taught in the training, like how to refer the documentation, what are the keys, what are the parameters which you need to fetch. If you are get stuck, what are the things you need to refer. As of now, I'm just making a book. Okay, so it's same like till data frame over here. Now from where I need to read the file, so that's a CSV format, I need to read that file from S3 location. Okay, so I'm just trying to provide that S3 location, and the bucket name was, I think like we have it over here, so we can quickly copy the bucket name from here. Let's copy this. Okay, I'm just pasting this bucket name. So this is the bucket name from where I'm trying to read the data. That's it. So this is done. If it would have been like, let me show you so that you will get a good idea. So what I'll do is I'll just comment this. Okay, and what I would say is let's CSV, and let's say I'll try, let me go to my chain directory to LFS, and let's go to data sets, and there are so many files available, so I'll just take emp1.txt. okay, so first I'll show you how to file colon triple slash, okay, slash home Saif LFS, that is the path, okay, edge node path which I'm trying to refer, and the file name is nothing but emp1.txt. and simply, if you remember, like day 1 on 2 demos, what I was trying to do is I was trying to do data frame dot print schema. Okay, and similarly let's see the data also, so that is nothing but my data frame dot show. Okay, and let's see all the data. I don't want to truncate anything. So this is a generic data frame way. So let's first execute that, and if see that is in a working condition. If that is a working condition, so we'll just replace that with S3. Okay, and we will see how we can do that. Okay, so let's understand like how the data frame are able to read or getting created with a normal method. If you see, I'm able to read the data and I'm able to print the schema also. Okay, now the requirement is I don't need to read the files from home location. I need to read the files from my S3 location. For that purpose, what you need to do is simply you need to change this. Okay, so this will be not the path where you are trying to access. So that's what I showed. So we will be writing the path where this is available. Okay, now I'm just trying to remove this. Okay, so with the help of Spark variable which we created, Java Spark context, and the Hadoop configuration method, I'm trying to set my access key and secret keys. Okay, so I have this access key and secret key. Let me copy this and let's paste this. So access key is done. I need to go a little down and I need to place my secret key. So let's bring that as well. It is asking for, and let me change this. So this is secret key. Okay, and now I need to change this. That is nothing but this is the endpoint which I need to give, and that is a default endpoint, and that is S3 Amazon AWS aws.com. Okay, so these three things are needed if you want to access your files from your S3. Let's re-execute this. Okay, so it is downloading the jar, and hopefully now with the help of access key and secret key for Saif, it should be able to access S3 bucket, and under that bucket the files which is kept, and we did not give the file name. That's okay. Did we give the file name? Okay, so it is able to fetch, like if you see, it is able to get the data. Okay, so let's go specifically. Inside this we had one file, so automatically it identified that file and it picked up. If you want, let's say, to pick that file, that is nothing but emp.txt. Okay, like what we did, simply we created a bucket through AWS CLI and we push this file, and the same file, which is nothing but emp.txt, if I am trying to execute this, after execution I am able to get my schema. You all know now this. Okay, yes, like since yesterday we are trying to see the schema of the file, and now I am able to see the data. If you remember earlier, we were not able to see the data. It was giving some error, but with the addition of access key and secret key, we got to connect it to AWS. Cool. So we are done till here. Okay, so we are able to extract the data. Okay, now the requirement is we need to transform the data. Okay, so the first step is done of extraction. Now let's try to do a transformation. What I will be doing is, let me duplicate this session. Okay, so login as Saif. Okay, cool. Okay, no issues. This is like AWS. I want to connect to my VM. Okay, so I'm just trying to open this, and I can write the queries or open the MySQL instance here also. Okay, so if I just write MySQL -user, the name is root and the password is welcome@123. Okay, and let me use a temporary database, that is Saif database, and if I say show tables, I can do this here also. But let's try to access through putty. I can do that also. Okay, so the IP address we need to take, and we need to connect with that IP address. The username is Saif, the password is welcome@123. So I'm able to access with putty as well. Okay, so I'm just showing the various methods what we can do. Okay, so I'm just playing with the machine, I'm playing with the technology, everything. Let's write the same command, MySQL, the username is root and the password is welcome@123. So we are able to connect. Okay, same like commands you all know. So show databases, there are so many databases. For my practice purpose, I always use SafeDB. After changing that, I have few tables inside this. So I'm just worried about this table, that is nothing but all the records from employee table. Okay, but ideally I'm not reading the data from MySQL, right? We need to remember that. Okay, so I'm just reading the data from S3 bucket. But to write a query and to perform something, I'm just trying to make use of my MySQL instance. Okay, now, so the requirement is, we all know there is an employee table. So what we need to do is, we need to find out what we need to find out it. So we need to find out how many team members are, or let's say there are some managers in your employee table. So how many employees are reporting to them? So we need to find out. So that is the requirement which is given to us. So we need to transform that and we need to load that information. Okay, so let's write a SQL query for that. So the step one is done, almost like building the skeleton, and we are able to see data. Okay, step two, so the extraction step is done. Now we are in the process of transforming the data. Okay, so we are writing a SQL query, And to write a SQL query, we need to do something. So let me show how we can do in. Let's come back to my PyCharm. Okay, cool. So what we need to do over here is simply you just need to write spark.sql. Okay. Before that, before writing spark.sql, what you need to do is you need to create a data frame. Let's say my data frame. You need to create, or you need to create. Let's see, there are so many options. Again, like the difference between, there is an interview question, what is the replace between temp view and global temp view? Okay, so we'll see that later. As of now, that's not our interest. So the table name is nothing but employee. Okay, now I can write all my queries. So let's say select all the table from employee, and if I just do dot show, and if I just try to comment out these two things and let me re-execute the same piece of code. Now I'm trying to execute my SQL queries on top of S3 bucket file data with the help of data frame. Okay, let's see the output. Okay, if you see, we are able to get the data. Okay, either you can use your DSL method, which is nothing but your domain specific language, or you can use the SQL method. Okay, that is nothing but your Spark SQL, that is called. Okay, cool. Let's come back. Now let's write a small query. Okay, we have a table and you all be knowing this. Okay, so I'm just writing a query to get a people. So we need to find out employees count reporting to manager. That's what we need to find out. Okay, so let's write a query. Okay, so that query would be nothing but, so SELE, so there will be some time. So you all must be remembering these column names. Okay, so I remember all these column names because whenever we practice, these are the two base tables we always use. Okay, so I'm constructing my SQL. Okay, so let me construct my SQL. So I would be aliasing the tables because I need to apply a join, and on applying a join, after applying a join, I need to join, I need to remove account. So I'm perform the query. So what I'll do is the first is nothing but ename. Okay, so yeah, we do have, so I'm just recollecting that. Okay, so I'm trying to reference the same table because I'll be applying a self join. Okay, so I'm just referencing that as employee number. Okay, so this is my first column. After that, what I will try to do, I will try to select my, before that I need to pick my a dot employee number as well. Okay, and let's say this is nothing but my employee number, and this should have been employee name. Okay, so the two columns which are required. Similarly, what I'll try to do, I'll just quickly copy this. I'll just go over here. So this is nothing, I'll be referencing from the same table, but I would be aliasing that as a B. Okay, so B dot employee number and B, so this will be nothing but my manager number and my manager name. Okay, so if you just want a little clarity, you can write manager employee number. Okay, so the two columns which are so the required columns, what I need to do is I need to apply a join. Okay, which is nothing but from employee A, employee B, and I need to write a where clause, where, okay, A dot manager equals to B dot employee number. Okay, it's just a small query. If I execute this will be a cross join. Let's execute this. So it is telling that a syntax error is this. So okay, so let's come back. I need to remove this. Let's quickly copy this, refresh this, and execute. Okay, so we are able to get some records, but still we are not able to achieve, but we are able to get few things. So I need to count this, I need to count this, and so on. That's what we need to do. So what I'll do is I'll write a one query. So that is nothing but select a dot manager. Okay, and I will count those managers. So with the name. Okay, from, and I'll alias this as, let's say, employee count. From the table, nothing but employee A and employee B, and I'll just writing a where clause, and that is nothing but A dot manager equals to B dot employee number, and I just need to do a simple group by on my A dot manager. Okay, let's execute this piece of query and let's see what is the output we are getting. Okay, so we are getting the count. Now if you see, the earlier query we executed was this. We got this query and that query. So we have two queries in hand. So we need to join these two queries and make one whole query. Okay, let's do that. So what I will do, I will copy this exactly as is. Okay, so I will create an inline view. Okay, so what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to create an inline view, which is nothing but I'm trying to create that as a table with a query, and I'm trying to alias that with some name that is nothing but C. I'm trying to write a clause that is nothing but and. So B dot employee number equals to I think C dot manager should be good. Let's see. Let me execute this query and we will get the result, and let's see. Okay, so we are not able to get the count. See, we are able to see, but the only thing is the count is missing. So let me add the count. Okay, so what I will see from the C table, that is employee underscore CNT, which is nothing but this. I'm trying to refer over here from the aliased table from an inline view, and I'm trying to alias that as this is nothing but what you can say is manager team count. Now let me copy this and execute. We should be able to get the data. What is the issue? Okay, cool. So we are able to get the query. So that is what our requirement was, and let me just do ordering. Let's do order by A dot I think it was manager team count, right? So let me just quickly copy this column name and let me paste this over here. Let's copy this, clear off the screen, and let's paste this. Cool. So we are able to get the data as per the requirement. Okay, so we are able to transform the data. So they have asked us, we need to find out how many employees are reporting to managers. We have transformed. Now what we need to do is we need to load the data to MySQL database. Okay, let's do the final step, that is nothing but step 3. Okay, so loading of data. Okay, now what we can do is, I could have written the data directly to S3 also. I can do that also. I can write to S3, I can write to Cassandra, I can write to Kafka topic, wherever. The integrations are, we can do anything based on requirement. And this machine is fully equipped with all the ecosystems and all the latest softwares and setups. Okay, so we will be able to do everything. Okay, now what we need to do is the SQL query which we have written. Let me copy that SQL query. Okay, I have just copied that SQL query, and I need to show you the result in my PyCharm. Okay, let's go quickly, and I'll remove this now. Okay, so I've created a temp table. Okay, so from this what I will do is I will just write simply spark.sql. Okay, and inside this I'm just trying to write the SQL query which I have. So I'm just copy pasting that code. Nothing else we need to do. So whatever the query which we have built and tested, we just need to pass as is. Okay, and after that what we can do is simply either you can align this. So let's say this is employee, let's say manager employee count. You can name this as well. Okay, let's copy, or again it will prompt us. So let's say manager employee count, and let me do truncate equals to false. Okay, now let's execute this piece of query. So if that query is working fine as we have tested over there, similarly we should get the result here also. Okay, so whatever we are trying to do, so as a developer in the dev environment, what we do is we always test few things. Okay, and after testing we try to push it in our actual and final code. Okay, so that's like how we build the code piece by piece, and finally like 80 lines, 100 lines, 150 lines of code is built. Okay, if you see the query output which we were able to get, so the same output we are getting over here also. Okay, so we are able to transform the data. Cool. So if we are able to transform the data, let's comment this as well. So we are able to read the data from S3, extract, we are able to transform, and finally we need to write the data. Okay, so what we can do is simply we can just raise, we are trying to transform the data over here, and finally I'm trying to write the data over here. So where we need to write? We need to write to an location, or sorry, to a database. Okay, let's do that. Now, writing to a database or writing to any location is very straightforward. Okay, so what is my data frame? This is my data frame. Right. If you see, if you remember yesterday, we were trying to do write stream yesterday, because they were streaming concepts, but today we are playing with data frames, so that's why we are trying to use write. Okay, now the mode is, there are different types of mode. If you remember yesterday also, there were different types of mode in streaming. When it comes to data frame, again here we have 4 different types of mode: error, override, append. Okay, lots of means like four options are there. So as of now I'm trying to say overwrite. Okay, cool. Then you need to provide few things. Okay, so what are those few things? So first is the option in the form of key and value. So first thing what I need to provide is the URL. Okay, so the JDBC URL. So JDBC colon MySQL colon local host. Okay, the port number is 3306. My database name is SafeDB. Okay, and sometimes what happens is I get some SSL connection issues. So for that purpose, just to eradicate that, I'm just trying to write SSL equals to false. Okay, so sometimes it gives me error, so I'm just trying to make sure that they are not troubling me. Okay, and that you will come to know slowly, because I know when we are writing the code. Okay, so I have connected to the MySQL with this JDBC. So again we need to provide one key and value. So what we need to do is we need to provide a driver, because there should be a jar given to this. So that jar name is nothing but, for that MySQL jar we have a driver that is nothing but com.mysql.cj jdbc.driver. Okay, then after that I need to provide my key and value. So the key is nothing but I need to provide a database table. So let's say this is demo 3, and let's say employee manager table. If the table is not available, it will create. If it is available, whatever mode you have given, it will keep on doing this thing. Okay, so for now we don't have this table, so it will create. Okay, cool. So I've given that. Now what I need to do is I need to provide username and I need to provide a password. So let's give that user. The username is root, and option, the password again in the form of key and value. So the password is nothing but welcome@123. Ideally we do not do hard codings of our password in the code. Everything is parameterized. Okay, we create config files and we call those config files in this program. Okay, again that's part of training program, so I'm just trying to show you with a hard coded method. Okay, and finally what I need to say is just save that. Okay, done. And let's write a small print statement. So let's say data has written to MySQL successfully. Okay, any message you can type. Okay, so what we have done, we have extracted the data from the S3 bucket, right? So we were able to print and we were able to see the data. Let's see that again. After that we were trying to do some transformation based on requirements, so we transform the data. Let's see that as well again. And finally we are trying to write the data. Okay, so where we are trying to write, we are trying to a MySQL database. If all the syntaxes, everything is good, we should be able to see a table that is nothing but this. Let's copy this and let's test. Let me clear off the screen, select all the records from this table. Okay, so if you see, it is telling me this is not existing. Okay, cool. If it is not existing, so what we need to do is this program will do that work. Let's execute this. So the first thing is extraction will be happening. So it will, we have already this done peacefully. So extraction, transformation, so we should be able to see the data from S3 bucket, that is print schema and the actual data. Okay, if you see, we are able to see that print schema and the actual data. Okay, after that we should be able to see some the query which we have written, that is nothing but Spark SQL. So this is the data of that, and we are getting some error. Okay, so let's see that error. So that error is, it is telling that expected exactly one path to be specified but got something. Okay, so when we are trying to write the data, okay, it is complaining us. So let's see what is the issue while writing. Okay, cool. So this is the data frame what we are trying to write. Okay, manager employee count dot write. Okay, we have this is already okay, so that should be not an issue. Okay, so we are trying to write a mode that is nothing but override. Okay, so we are trying to connect to a user. So Jdbc colon MySQL colon localhost 3306. The database name is good, and this is the SSL connection. The driver is good. After that, we have the DB table. The username is root. Welcome. So where it is pointing the error. So it is telling us while saving. Okay, so dot save. Okay, so that's where like password is there. So welcome at the rate 123. That's also correct. Username is root. Okay, let me just pause. So let's see, the mode is nothing but overwrite. Okay, and what we need to do is we need to save. So what we will do is, in place of save, so we will try to write the data to S3 location. Let's see whether that is working for us or not. Okay, so that is nothing but S3 location. Okay, and my file bucket name is, let's go a little up.
Can you give format as a JDBC while writing the data frame?
Okay, yeah. Thanks. So first let's do this, and let's make a move. So let's do this as well. Let's do both the things simultaneously. Okay, so S3 colon, and let's say under that I'm trying to create, let's say, output of my employee manager count. Okay, so this is like where we are trying to write data to S3. Okay, and quickly means like rightly suggested, I was missing that. Okay, so the format I was missing. Thank you so much. So the format was nothing but JDBC. Okay, with the help of JDBC I needed to connect. Okay, so let's copy this piece of statement and let's place this here. Okay, and data has returned to S3 bucket successfully. Okay, okay, so we should be able to get the data in S3 bucket, so a directory should be getting created, and the table should also be getting generated. Okay, let's execute this and let's verify the result if no errors are coming. If errors are coming, same like we'll try to debug, find out the issues, fix the issues, rerun the code and test. Okay, so the first thing is extraction is done. We are able to see the employee data. We are able to transform the data. Data has been written to S3 and data has been written to MySQL successfully. Okay, so both the things are being done. Let's test it. Let's test that. So the first thing is we'll try to execute this query and we are able to see the data. Okay, earlier that table was not available, so that was the first thing. Second thing is we just wanted that file. So if we just refresh this, a directory should be getting created, and within that we should have the data, which is nothing but this. Okay, what you can do is you can open this and you can view the data if you want to view, or else you can just click on this. Okay, and again, like, there is an actions, object actions, query with S3, there is an option, and you just drop, means like go a little down, and you should, once you are getting, so you should be able to see some part data. Okay, so this is like end to end, like a small piece of demonstration which we wanted to implement, ETL stuff. Okay, that has been completely taken care. So let's recall. We picked the file from the local folder with the help of WinSCP. So we put it into EC2 instance. From EC2 instance, we created a bucket. Okay, inside the bucket, the file was kept. I did not created the folder. Then it was extracted in using PySpark. So the extraction was done. Transformation was, there was a small requirement. Okay, so that requirement was to get the employees count. Okay, so we got those employees count by writing a small query, framing a small query step by step, and finally what we did is we have written the data or loaded the data to MySQL database, as well as we have written the data to S3. Okay, a small and simple demonstration.